How's it going, everybody? What's up? Welcome into the Sactown Sports Kings recap. Coming to you after Dame time. Mr. Damian Lillard absolutely stabs Kings fans in the heart. Calls game and hits. I don't know what that is, like a 37-footer to send this one, or send the Kings packing, I should say. Wow, what a game! First and foremost, what a game! Incredibly exciting. I just tweeted out this had a lot of shades of 2023 Beam Team days. You had Kevin Huerter going, a nice little. I guess at this point we could call it a vintage Kevin Huerter performance, a little throwback Kevin Huerter performance. 6 threes for Huerter tonight. It's a shame the Kings couldn't get the win because, I really think it would have been a fun story to kind of talk about how Kevin had a great game today when the Kings really needed it. Keegan goes out and doesn't play that second half. And to have Kevin step up the way he did after the season he's had so far, I just thought it would have been a really cool moment to have, and to have Kevin hit a three in that overtime period too. I thought was a nice little cherry on top. But unfortunately, that's just sports is not a it's not a fairy tale. It's not a nice little story that is always wrapped up perfectly. And absolutely, I see it tons in the chat. And how many times have I said it? If y'all have been tuning in to these Kings recaps all year, shout out if you have, then you would know. I've been talking about this all season long. I've been saying at some point this team's lack of free throw shooting ability is going to come back and bite them. And tonight, that's absolutely what it was. I mean, and for it to have it be Malik Monk is the worst kind of, I guess, is that poetic justice in a way. Just the absolute worst. The Kings' best free throw shooter up at the line. I mean, I think at that point too they were up 4. That would have put them up 6. Brooke Lopez hits a 3. Then they foul De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron splits the free throws, and then that really sets up Dame to hit that game winner. So first, you got to shout out Dame. That's quite literally what that man does. So if you want to be upset at Jordy Fernandez or the Kings for allowing him to shoot that, I totally understand that. I wouldn't necessarily blame Jordy, but you got to know that Damian Lillard in that moment is looking to take a shot, and of course you don't want to play overly aggressive and foul him, but you just got to make it a little bit more difficult for him, and it's unfortunate that this game has to end like that because the Kings definitely deserve the result tonight. Especially Domantas Sabonis, who, again, comes out and gets a triple-double, his 7th triple-double in the last 13 games. He's now second in the NBA in triple-doubles, only behind Jokic. And to me, you see it on the ticker there, he's not even the main story. I honestly thought about putting him without any stars tonight because of just how well everybody else played. I thought De'Aaron had himself a pretty ho-hum night, and then his performance to close out this game, more so at the end of the fourth quarter and in that overtime period before he missed that free throw, I thought he was spectacular. And that's exactly what you want your clutch player of the year to play like. And it was good to see De'Aaron have that. Clutch player of the year is a lot of questions on, how valid that award is, what it even means, if it means anything. I think Dame is actually, weirdly enough, in the front running to win this year's award. I think at the very least it says that, man, this dude, it's legit. Like, it's not just a one-year thing. It's not just he had a crazy year in those kind of situations. It's just who he is. And I expect De'Aaron that's why it hurts so much that he's the one who misses those free throws too. And I think even he would admit that he's got to be better. I know he likes to say, I hit them when they matter, but there's a case in point example of just why it's important to always be good at free throw shooting, not just hit it when it matters. Because that one, this one's going to take a while to get over. Because again, it felt like the Kings deserved to win this one with how they played today. They definitely efforted this one out, And it's I don't it was a good game. Again, when in a weird, would y'all rather have them lose by 30, like 20 points, 25 points? Of course, an L is still an L, but this is a much better loss, at least, than some of the losses we've been experiencing so far. So this is exactly what I was hoping to see at the very least, is that these guys can make these games competitive, because what we saw on Friday against Philadelphia, you can't have that. If the Kings lose or games like this, as often as they get blown out, I can definitely live with that a lot better. I can live with trying to figure out how to win close games instead of trying to figure out how to stop getting blown out. And you got a shot. I think Mike Brown. We haven't talked about Mike Brown's ejection yet. I definitely think that was. I don't know what word it was strategic. To me, it felt like Mike Brown needs to go to acting school. I don't think Mike Brown was really that upset. Ooh, let me turn on my ring light here, as I just realized. There we go. How about that? I definitely don't think Mike Brown was that upset at what was called. I definitely think that was just him trying to prove a message. I think at that point in the game, it was 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. He definitely understood that he had pretty much done all he could do at that point, and the game was in the players' hands. And, Mike Brown's been talking about accountability this whole time, this whole season, and what better way to put the ball in the players' court than to literally leave the game and say, I'm not going to be here to yell at y'all and hold y'all accountable. You guys are going to have to do it. So definitely thought Mike Brown was smart for getting ejected when he did, and I don't think it's a coincidence that this Bucks team seems to bring a lot of energy out of this Kings team. It's the second time, if everyone would remember last year when Trey Lyles got into it with Brook Lopez and Giannis. I think it's the fact that Milwaukee plays really physical. They're a really demanding team. If you don't bring it against Milwaukee, they can boat race you. They'll absolutely destroy you with Giannis at the rim. And then, you see their perimeter presence. If Pat Connaughton hits a couple more threes, this game looks a lot more different. If Malik Beasley if Malik Beasley was as hot as he was in the first half, in the second half, maybe this one goes different. But just absolutely embarrassing. The Kings tonight from the free throw line, 15 of 20 as well, which is even more painful to know that 3 of those 5 misses came in like the last 15 seconds. So that's just not how you want to lose a game with the easiest of shots, especially when you were shooting pretty well to start that game. But the fact Malik Monk is the one that misses 4, I didn't realize he had missed 4 free throws. That's crazy. I mean, that is absolutely insane. Malik is literally a 90% free throw shooter last season, and for him to go 6 of 10, I don't know if he's ever shot 6 of 10 from the free throw line in his NBA career. So that's not great. That hurts. That definitely adds to the sting of this one. But again, at least the Kings were competitive. Not really much for moral victories most of the time. But when you see how they got destroyed by a Joel Embiid-less Sixers on Friday, the fact that they were competitive, they showed competitive spirit. Mike Brown gets kicked out and they respond. It doesn't just go flat. The message is received. I definitely think there's absolutely some positives to take out of this game. And, of course, the biggest one, again, being Kevin Huerter knocking down shots, because who knows if Keegan's going to have to miss some time. But I'm telling y'all, if Kevin Huerter can play even just like how Atlanta Kevin Huerter played, he doesn't have to play like the dude we saw for a large portion of last year. We just need the guy that has been an average Kevin Huerter. It would almost be as if the Kings acquired somebody at the trade deadline, because he has just not been himself all year long. And so if he can just be a piece of what he was last year and the guy that we all know he's capable of being, that is huge and can be huge. And, hopefully, I don't know if Kevin Huerter is all but gone. I obviously know Kevin's name has been brought up in trades quite a bit. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I would say Harrison Barnes is probably number 1 on the Kings trade block. By the way, HB did have a good game tonight. He did have some people in attendance. I think they said on the broadcast his hometown's like 5 hours away from Milwaukee. So Probably not a coincidence that HB did play a little bit more aggressive when he had some people in town, but I'll take it. 14 points for HB tonight. Thought he had a decent impact when he was in. Didn't see much of HB down the stretch of the game, and didn't see him at all in overtime. But I thought this is exactly what you want out of HB. Of course, you'll take more rebounds. He have 14 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. But of course, we all know what to expect from HB at this point. And then Keegan Murray does have a slow first half. I think he got hurt trying to dunk on Brook Lopez, if I had to guess. He went up pretty strong for that dunk, didn't end up landing it, and landed pretty hard on his tailbone. I think they said his hip, or I think it was hip soreness, or might have been knee soreness. But if I had to guess, it was on that fall. It did take him a second to get up. But Keegan really wasn't playing well. It's unfortunate. I would have liked to see him be on Giannis or to be it down the stretch to see what kind of impact Keegan would have had if he could have turned around that bad first half. But 2 of 9 for Keegan today, 0 of 2 from 3, had 4 points in a block again before being taken out at the end of the first half. So hopefully Keegan's okay. It would be, if Keegan is going to miss time, again, I do think it could be a positive for Kevin Huerter to kind of be shoehorned into getting the kind of opportunity that Kevin gets, or that Keegan usually gets, because, again, if we can get Kevin back into the flow of this thing, that could really get this thing going. And I think the more nights where we can say, wow, that team looked like the team of last year, I definitely think the better off they're going to be. But I see people talking trades here. Does Siakam hit those free throws? Kings need Siakam. Absolutely. I mean, that's definitely the big question right now for this team. They're able to compete with some of the best in this league. We've seen them beat a good handful of really good teams in this league. And, now it feels like if they really want to get to that next level, as I was looking at the standings earlier, the NBA is kind of starting to separate themselves a bit in the standings into tiers. And the Kings are kind of starting to fall out of that first tier of teams. So they're definitely, they're one of the better teams in the tier they're in. But if they want to really be competitive in terms of being in that Western Conference playoff contention, A, they got to hit free throws because they're going to lose playoff games. But B, they're going to have to add some talent. And, that's only going to ramp up as the trade deadline is on February 8th. So we're getting closer and closer. And it definitely feels like there's something brewing. I think I saw that Portland was sitting a ton of their players, which is super interesting. Makes you wonder if there's something happening over there. But it definitely is trade season. I'm just going to try and share my screen here, and so we can show the NBA standings. Here we go. So, like I was saying, it's kind of breaking into tiers at this point. There's definitely this top 3 of Minnesota, OKC, and Denver. Denver is kind of just getting healthy again. Jamal Murray's back in the lineup. So they're definitely, on track to go back to being a 1 seed. Minnesota's kind of slipped as of late. I still think that they're going to be one of the best teams in the Western Conference, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep this up for 82 games. And, it's also, it's about trade time for them as well, where they got to kind of decide, is this team good enough to win a title this year? And I kind of think, guys like Karl Anthony Towns just get a little bit nervous around trade time. I don't think they'll make any major moves in Minnesota because things are working so well, but definitely seems like they're kind of falling back into the pack a bit. And then there's this middle group here of the Clippers, Kings, Pelicans, and Mavericks. I definitely think the Kings, we've seen them struggle with New Orleans. I think that's just a bad matchup. But I definitely think the Kings are probably the second best team. I think the Clippers are incredibly talented. And again, they're a wait-and-see team as well because of their history of health. But I think the Clippers are the most talented team. I think the Kings still have a lot of potential to get better this year. The Pelicans, I think, just kind of are what they are. Again, we've seen them beat this Kings team 4 times already this year. We know how good they can be, but the fact that they I think they have a similar story as the Kings, where they're just incredibly inconsistent on every single night. And Dallas is really just a 2-star show, and I don't really think Dallas is that scary of a threat. So, yeah, I mean, the Kings are kind of in this middle pack a little bit like they were last year, except they were more so at the front of the middle pack. We'll see. We'll see how this season goes. And I like I said, I think the Kings have probably the most room for improvement of this clumping of teams right here, more so the non-Dallas teams. I think Dallas has a lot of room to improve. But I definitely think this Kings team, it wouldn't take a lot. And that's why I keep saying I'm not massive on the send everyone out for Pascal Siakam move, just because I think that a little bit would go a long way. If you can just add a couple more rotation pieces. You saw Mike Brown cut down his rotation tonight. I think he only played he played eight guys tonight. 9 guys. I'm sorry, 9 guys tonight. I forgot about Sasha entering in that second half, but yeah, so he's definitely he's trying to find the guys that he feels like he can go down with. And it feels like it's definitely Sabonis and Fox, obviously. It's definitely Keegan Murray if he's going to be healthy. It seems like Malik Monk more times than not is going to be in that group. And frankly, it seems like Trey Lyles has kind of cemented himself into that group. He's now closed the last 2 games for this Kings team. So I think that this is kind of the start of Trey being more involved. He played 33 minutes tonight, which was more than HB. And I think this is going to kind of become the new talking point, where it's, why isn't Trey Lyles in the starting lineup? Well, he's in the closing lineup, and that's really what matters. So we'll see. Again, we'll see once trades happen with this team. I suspect HB will be gone, and who knows what the starting lineup will look like at that point. And the road trip's not over either. I completely forgot. They have one more game in Phoenix against the Suns. I believe that's on Tuesday. So that should be an interesting matchup. The Kings have beaten the Suns twice. I know at least once this season. I believe they've beaten them twice. Yeah, I mean, I think this will be the first time the Kings play them 100% when they are 100% healthy, they being the Suns. So that'll be an interesting look at Booker, Beal, and KD. Another team that's full of buckets, and if the Kings shoot like they did tonight, I definitely like their chances because, yeah, I mean, again, it continues to be the storyline of the season, the continual through line of the Kings' good performances. When they shoot the ball well from the perimeter, everything else just kind of falls into place. They shoot 41% tonight from 3, 17 of 41. The problem is Milwaukee, I don't know what's going on. I actually think the Kings play pretty good perimeter defense. Mike Brown really emphasizes running guys off of the three-point line, so it's not even necessarily about the quality. It's more just the quantity. But the Bucks. This Bucks team gets them up more than anybody else. They're one of the best offenses in the NBA. Milwaukee made 23s, which is ridiculous. That's insane. And the Kings also got killed at the free throw line. So, which we already know. But the Bucks shot 27 of 32 to the Kings 15 of 20 at the line. So when you lose the 3-point battle and you end up losing the free throw battle like that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough to win. Let's look at the comments here before we get out of town. Let's see here. I wonder how crazy Mike Brown's going to go in his press conference today. I wonder if it's already happened, but I was definitely wondering if he's about to pick up a suspension. this definitely, he seemed pretty animated on the sideline. I'm checking Twitter right now to see if we can maybe pull up the video. Oh, man. Oh, y'all. This man does not disappoint. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to try and find the video first before I see memes, y'all. Oh, man. Mike Brown. Okay, that's 5 minutes. Let's see if I can. Sorry, y'all. I see a ton of memes, and I don't know. Oh, I guess I'll just show y'all the memes because me just saying, oh man. So here's Mike Brown. Let's see here. I'm sure it's gonna pass up here. Mike Brown, literally. I'm gonna see, and like I said, I'm gonna see if I can find the video here of Mike Brown doing this. Here's Mike Brown. He quite literally has video replay of what he is talking about. Oh, man. This meme is going to get usage. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness, y'all. This is going to be used until extinction. Oh, my God. I'm going to see if I can find the video real quick. That's incredible. We've been kind of deprived this year of Mike Brown memes. I see Slater has a 5-minute video. I'm definitely not trying to bore y'all to sleep with a 5-minute video. Shout out to Anthony Slater. By the way, yes, Anthony Slater is in Milwaukee right now. Anthony Slater, for those of you who don't know, writes for The Athletic, usually writes Golden State Warriors content for The Athletic. But he was in Milwaukee tonight, and Slater has spent some time in Sacramento. For those of you who don't know, he is kind of local. I think he lives more so near Sacramento than near the Bay Area, so he does go to a good sharing of Kings games and obviously has a history with Mike Brown. But the fact that he is in Milwaukee to watch the Kings play the Bucks is very interesting to me. I say all this to say, wouldn't be surprised if there is an Athletic story about the Sacramento Kings. I don't know exactly what they would be covering right now, but the fact that they would fly Slater out to Milwaukee tells me that it's definitely a big piece. It's not just a, hey, what do you guys why are you guys struggling so much throughout this season? Definitely not one of those. It's probably either with Monty McNair or it's just going to be a really big feature piece about something. Sorry, y'all. Oh, here we go. Here is I'm going to see if I can show you guys Mike Brown. Here we go. Oh, man, here we go. We actually are going to watch the Slater video, but we're just going to watch the beginning stages of it. Hold on. Let me put on my headphones real quick so I can hear this with y'all. Okay. All right, let's dive in.
Just want to let me see that, man. I just want to show why I got kicked out of the game. Right here, this is in the first. This is in the third quarter, with 1:28 left to go in the third. And right here, you can watch. Go back and watch. Fox barely puts his hand on Dame's hip. Okay, incidental contact. He didn't push him or anything. He barely puts his hand on there, and they give him 3 free throws. Now, at half, we were down, I think, 19-5 in the free throws, 19-5. And I know that happens sometimes, but that's very frustrating when at the end of the half, from what I get told all the time, Malik drives. Lopez comes over and goes vertical with a forearm down here. Now, from what the NBA tells me, the rule is if you go vertical, you got to have 2 hands up. Because Domas has his hand down here a lot, and they call him for it every time, and they always tell us, well, you got a forearm here. And they said that tonight, they said the forearm could be here as long as it's not extended. So I don't know what the rules are in this situation. I need a clarification because, again, 2 hands up is what the rule is on verticality, but they were here and they said Lopez could do this. That's a 5-point swing. They take away the 2 free throws, and then Milwaukee goes down and hits a 3. And to end the half at 19-5, that's tough to deal with, especially when you're getting told different interpretations on a rule. Okay, so now I go back. They call this foul. They call this foul again on Fox.
This man really brought out the risk.
Now watch this right here. Fox comes up. Campaign hooks him. Hooks his arm. Look at Fox's arm when he spins off of this. Hooks his arm. He almost falls.
It's pretty
no
bad.
incidental contact. He hooks his arm and almost falls.
This man's getting
and there's no foul. And so to me, as a coach, I'm okay with look again. Boom. He almost falls.
This man.
And that's at the fourth quarter.
This is the Patrick Beverly.
I'm okay as a coach.
He's doing the Patrick Beverly.
And they're going to make mistakes. But you just hope, A, there's some sort of consistency. B, there's some sort of communication between the refs. And the refs tonight, they were great. They communicated with me all night. But in terms of the consistency, you guys saw it right here. Dame coming off the pick and roll, and Foxy getting hooked and almost falling coming off the pick and roll. And then on top of that, if you get communication and you get some form of
maybe I am going to play the full 5 minutes.
Okay.
This man is spitting bars.
You can live with some things. You can live with it. But the consistency that I see tonight wasn't in my opinion there. And then I don't understand the rule. If the rule is you got to go vertical, both hands up, how can you take away 2 free throws when the guy got his forearm down here? Now, if they're gonna change the rule on me and say, okay, the forearm can be down here and the other one can be up there, all right, then now I know it going forward. But that's not what the rule is, because we get called on Domas all the time, and they tell us he's got to have both hands up if you want to go vertical.
That's fact.
That's why I got kicked out.
Wow. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? That is facts from your Sacramento Kings head coach, Mike Brown. Holy hell. I was not expecting that. For him to just straight up pull up the receipts is wild. In real time, he even had a coach walk up and give him the laptop. He was prepared for that. He said, Luke, all right, I'm gonna look over to you. I'm gonna give you the sign. When I give you the sign, drop the laptop on the table. I'm gonna show these fools what I'm talking about. That's crazy. But he's not wrong. What Mike Brown is essentially saying there is, it's been talked about a lot this year how Domantas Sabonis, has really greatly improved his vertical challenges. And what that is I don't want to, I feel like a lot of you know what it is, so I don't want to talk down to anybody here. But essentially just go as straight up as possible. Don't lean forward. Be as straight up and down as you can possibly be. And Domantas Sabonis has really adjusted his game to pretty much perfect the vertical challenge. I mean, he's not somebody who gets a ton of blocks. He's not super doesn't have a super long wingspan, can't jump really high, so he's not a shot blocker. And the best way where he can affect shots and not get fouls called on him is to play vertical. And so if you're going to tell Domantas Sabonis, pretty much the only way you can survive as an NBA defender is if you can learn to master to be as vertical as possible. If not, we're going to call a foul on you every single time because we know you can't get vertical. And so if you do contest a shot well, it must be because it's a foul. And then to see other bigs like Brook Lopez not be held to that same standard, you see Brook Lopez getting an elbow into somebody and getting his other hand on the contest, I could see how you would be frustrated with it. But at the same time, that's the NBA. Things are not called fairly. And, I'm sure Mike Brown is upset by it. But I'm also sure that he's more so trying to prove a point, not only to his team on that night. I definitely think this thing is more so about giving his team energy tonight, but also in general just to point out some of the hypocrisies in the NBA. And, I assume this won't get Domantas Sabonis less foul calls, but maybe it does do a better job, at least when the Kings are playing against other opponents, them calling it more evenly because Mike Brown is not afraid to pull out receipts. Apparently, if he feels he did you wrong. So I mean, y'all, I'm just gonna at my own risk here. Everyone else can definitely go on their own, uh, social media pages. But I'm telling you, every single thing on my timeline right now is Mike Brown. Just Mike Brown, Mike Brown, Mike Brown, y'all. This has taken over. Bleacher Report. Honored talking about the Kings losing, of course. So, at least we got a meme out of tonight, and at least we got a good game as well and a really good performance. At least it's an unforgettable night. Definitely not one I will forget. Shout out Damian Lillard, who adds another infinity stone to his gauntlet, and just an absolute heartbreaker as the Sacramento Kings fall to the Milwaukee Bucks 143-142 in Milwaukee. As I mentioned, the Kings will play the Phoenix Suns on Tuesday in Phoenix before returning home on Thursday against the Indiana Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton, unfortunately. I will talk to y'all after the game on Tuesday. You can also check me out tomorrow. I will be hopping on YouTube exclusive. No, it will also be on air as well on 1140. But you can check us out. Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli will be hosting another Kings special, holiday special for Martin Luther King Day from 9 to 12 tomorrow, right here on Sactown Sports 1140 YouTube channel. You can also hear it on the you can also hear it on the airwaves as well. I will be joining them, I believe, at 10 o'clock, from 10 to 11. So y'all definitely tune into them. They had crazy numbers last time. So if you're a Kings fan, definitely hop in there, even if it is just to chat in the chat. Go give my guys some love. They will definitely be breaking down this game. They'll probably be previewing games, and also I'd imagine doing some sort of mid-season report card or something like that. So definitely go check out my guys. Again, Frankie Cardicelli, Brendan Nunez, tomorrow from 9 to 12 right here on Sactown Sports 1140. And I will see the rest of y'all on Tuesday. Tuesday after the Suns game, and I see you right here, Kingpin. You can check out Alan Stiles' halftime hashtag Beam Spaces at the halftime of every single Kings road game. You can follow Alan over on his Twitter account, and he'll tweet it out right before he goes live. So definitely go check all that stuff out. Shout out my guys, and shout out all you for being in this chat every single game. Unfortunately, we can't light the beam tonight, but I hope y'all enjoy. Hopefully everyone gets the extra 3-day weekend, and yes, Beam Spaces. See y'all on Tuesday.